Hey, Arcturus here. Today we're looking at the Defenders of the Great Bastion Army Reinforcement set for Grand Cathay in Warhammer the Old World. This set is an expansion to the army lineup for Grand Cathay and brings in a lot of units from the video game onto the tabletop. This box comes with Peasants, an Astromancer, both mounted and on foot, as well as a Crowman minion for him, as well as a Crane Gunner team, and the Iron Hail Gunners. So some very nice models. They look really good. So let's take a look. When you open the box, you of course get the instructions, some bases, as well as one for the Astromancer on horse, and of course piles of sprue. As you can see, get some of those bases out of the way. All right, so we'll look at the Peasants first, which are rather confusingly packed because you get weird numbers of them. I think it makes sense, and I think I have the correct number of sprue. But unfortunately, this instruction booklet does not include a listing of what sprue you get. It just goes right into the instructions, which is actually the one time I kind of want one because this is a little confusing, but I think everything is here. So you get 3 of this sprue, which is just torsos and bodies, essentially. I guess bodies as opposed to torsos. This is, I believe, also the stuff for the command squad, although I haven't looked through the directions so closely, so I can't be 100% sure of that, but that should be mostly on here. Part of a banner, and you get 3 of that sprue. Then you get 6 of this sprue, which is your weapons, the various spears, which have some nice variation, which is good in my opinion. You get this sort of moon crescent spear, and then the more standard like halberd-esque spear, bunch of arrows, some hats, a couple different heads, bows, all that stuff. And you get 6 of this sprue. Now some of the confusion comes from you get 2 loose, you get 2 as their own large sprue, which would be fine, but then your other 2 body sprues come attached like this. So you have your bodies here, and then you have your weapons over here, which is a little confusing. So I'll probably break these actually, so it is hopefully a little less confusing, but I believe those numbers make sense. So you have a total of 3 sets of the bodies, and then a total of 6 for the weapons. Confusing way to put those in. I'll set the Peasants off to the side. Then, and I did not realize this, but your Iron Hail Gunners and Crane Gunners are all on the same sprue, and you get 2 of these. You get 4 shields, so it's 4 Crane Gunners per sprue, and then 5 Iron Hail Gunners. And they are all mixed in on the same sprue. So when these release, they will be in the same box. So I don't know what that means for the pricing, because typically the boxes for Old World have a little bit different pricing, but this is very different of a layout than any of the other kits that I'm aware of, at least. So I'm not sure on the pricing. So if you have any ideas, feel free to put those in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this sort of layout, because this, to me, is a little strange. But it does seem like I have everything here, and you get 2 sets of that sprue, so it is identical. And that gives you 12 Iron Hail Gunners and 8 Crane Gun teams for a total of 20 units. So I guess you could just get a box with these 2 sprue in it for a total of 20 models in the box, and that might come out to the usual price in Old World that you get those 20-man boxes at. But I'm not sure. Then we have our Astromancer, which comes on 1 sprue, which makes perfect sense to me because you have the mounted and you have the foot version. And he has a couple different build options, which I saw in the instructions, and we'll go over in a second when we look at that. When I was looking to see if there was any diagrams of what sprue I was supposed to have received, but I think I have everything. It's just very confusingly laid out. So some really cool looking options here. Some nice differences in staff versus sword. Two different staffs, so you can have both of them with a staff. You don't just have to build one with it. You can mix and match. So if you have multiples of this hero, you can do that. Looks like there's a few bits that are oddly separated, but should be okay. Looks like there's some very tiny bits that might be difficult to put together. And some shoulder pads, I guess. And then you get two unhelmeted heads. And then you have your familiar. So some very nice looking parts in there. When I was looking through this, I did notice you have some nice variation. So you can build him with the feathered headdress there, or with a sort of top knot and sword. So you get some nice variation. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, I guess those that I thought were shoulder pads are actually part of this helmet. So I probably won't be building that because that means that helmet is 3 pieces. Well, maybe it's not that bad because those are rather large feathers. The familiar is 4 pieces. That's probably okay. The horse is a little concerning because you do have to add this stirrup section. Looks like it might be in a lot of small pieces. I was a little concerned with these because I did see somebody discussing the terracotta sentinel, their gigantic golem. And while it looks cool, it does look like I don't want to build that. It just looks like too much work to go into it. So I was a little concerned with that going forward with these. Then we have our crane gunners, and each crane gunner, it looks like they're monopose. So you get 2 different options for the gunner itself. And then you get, it looks like 2 different options for the shield bearers as well, because you're building each of those 4 times, and then you get a total of 8 with, I guess, some slight variation in the pose, which I guess makes sense that you wouldn't have a ton of options for those given the way the model is assembled. The Iron Hail Gunners are also monopose, though, and look to be... they've done stuff like this before. This is always difficult or more annoying to put together, with the barrel being so short. That seems a little strange since they didn't do it for these where it's much longer, but I guess I'll make do with that. The extra arm piece is a little annoying, though. Like, this could be just 1 piece. You might have a little more of a mold line, but you're going to have mold lines on this anyway. So, I don't know. It seems overly complex for this part here. But I will find out when I put them together. So you can build banners. You can build 3 of these because you only get 3 of this pole, but that does let you do 3 blocks with the command of the peasants, or you can do like they have here, where you have a larger block of, say, the archers, or 2 blocks, 1 larger and 1 smaller. I guess they only show archers in the image here for some reason. Let's see, you can also build one as a champion. Yep, so they have a champion. They also have a musician with a sort of trumpet. And then you have peasants, and each one can be built, each torso can be built as either a archer or spearman. And you do get 30 of those, but there are only 10 poses, it looks like. And what I found is most of these are not really interchangeable. Sometimes you can make it work, but like some of the stuff really makes it look like you're getting this spear onto this model. Like, this stuff doesn't look, it looks like there's a little notch in the arm there, so it looks like it's not going to be interchangeable. Which is, I guess, a trade-off between, do you want, if you have a bunch of blocks of these, are going to look very similar, but the models will all look really good, and that is always the trade-off. Let's see. I mean, some of this looks okay. It does look like, doesn't look terrible. I was a little concerned they would have a ton of extra pieces, and for stuff you're doing 30 of, I think this is probably a bit more than you might want. For instance, the Bretonnian archers, I think, were like 4 pieces. Although I could be misremembering that, but they're very basic. Now the models are noticeably older, and these are noticeably more detailed. So it is, as I said, that trade-off. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because that's all I've got for this week. I will hopefully at some point get these built and do some individual videos on each of the units in this box. But if you're picking this up, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.